I want to talk to you guys about why your woman needs for you to lead. In particular, why women want men and not boys. Now, we're living in a time in history where things are in transition, especially here in the United States. Now, you know what? Scratch that. They're in transition all over the planet. And there's lots of very interesting, thought-provoking videos on YouTube that explain this phenomenon, explain the reasons why we're going through this time. If you're a person who believes in the Bible and believes in the book of Revelation, you might believe that we're in the end times. If you're a New Age person, you might believe that we're about to, we're in the age of Aquarius and we're about to move into, in a new enlightened era, as it were. And there's probably a dozen other explanations for these changes that are happening. But one thing that I believe to be true is that nature doesn't have it wrong. Nature responds to us because we're a part of nature. And even though we do a lot of unnatural things and we get a lot of unnatural results, nature is answering. Nature always answers the question. Nature always answers the action with a reaction. Like in fighting, there's an expression that says, how did he answer him? What was his answer? He punched him in the jaw, but what was his answer? Well, nature's getting punched in the jaw by human beings right now. And we're ignoring nature at our own peril, at our own pain and loss and woe. We're ignoring it. We're ignoring who we are. We're ignoring our nature. We're ignoring the nature of man and the nature of woman in exchange for something much more less defined. And whenever you do that, whenever you create whenever you don't define something, giving it clear boundaries, then those boundaries will be washed out and there will be what one might call mixing, or a hybrid. There'll be a mixture or a diluting of specificity. Now, I'm not trying to get too deep. It sounds like I'm getting deep. I can hear it myself. And I don't really want to get too deep. I really want to keep this so that young people can follow these concepts, and older. Bright people and not so bright. What I'm trying to say is this. Human beings right now are challenging every aspect of the way things were designed by whoever the creator is. Whoever you want to call the creator, that's another conversation. I have my beliefs, and I'm willing to share them, but I'm not willing to argue about them. I just don't have the energy to argue with people over what I believe. What I believe is not important to lots of people, and to argue with you about it, it's futile. I get nothing out of it, you get nothing out of it. But I do know that nature was here before us. Man and woman were here before us. Ducks and butterflies and trees and dirt and worms were here before you and me. And the reason why they're still here, and by the way, some of them aren't. There are some species of trees that are gone forever. There are some species of animals that are gone forever. There are things that are dying on this planet faster than you can even imagine. The news won't even report on it. But go ahead and do your own Google search and find out how many species of animals are dying. Like right now in Africa, the African elephant will be extinct by the year 2050 if they don't stop the poaching over there just for the husks. Or the tusks, not the husks, but the tusks, the ivory tusks. They're killing them and selling the ivory tusks for a profit. So what's happening is right now, people are ignoring the balance of nature, that you can't kill just keep killing things, or keep consuming and not creating, keep killing and not reproducing. There has to be a balance. And right now, we're challenging every aspect of nature, and we're challenging all the institutions. That's why the school systems are failing people. The religious system is failing people. Religious systems are failing people. Marriages are failing people. The financial system is failing people. If you can name one system that's created by man that is not failing, please let me know. Because so far as I can see it, they're all failing. And they're all failing because of people who have literally transformed the minds of people, narrowed their vision, gotten them to listen to scripts and agendas that have nothing to do with the nature of things and have everything to do with personal interest for personal gain. Okay? Now, I hope you followed all that. Now I'm going to jump into the meat of the matter. What does this have to do with your woman needing you to be a man, or the female that you're with needing you to be a man? Because women want men, not boys. Here's the answer. So if you're still tuned in, now I'm going to give you the goods, because I've laid the foundation, I've given you these analogies, and I've given you the context for things, so you can understand that there's a bigger thing going on than just between men and women. The reason why this is happening is because men are ignoring the nature of women in exchange for movie scripts that for the last 15 or 20 years have been teaching them that women want some type of metrosexual, androgynous, gay male girlfriend or gay male boyfriend type of a guy. She wants the quote-unquote nice guy that you see in movies and films, the way they're depicted. Now, I'm not here to tell you that girls just want bad boys or good guys. I think women want men to be men, and I think men are complicated. I think they can be nice and they can be not so nice. I know I can be nice. In fact, 95% of the time, I'm nice, really nice. But whenever it comes time for me not to be so nice, I'm not. There's a time for all things. And men today have been so diluted. Manhood and masculinity has been so diluted because better than half of the households in America are raising, are women, single women, raising these boys without the assistance of men. So boys aren't imprinting their personalities and their behavior off of the character traits of men. They're imprinting off of the character traits of women. So we grow up with no dads, and we find ourselves being codependent, or we find ourselves being way too far on one polarity or the other, meaning way too feminine or way too masculine. Now, what I mean by way too masculine, can you be too masculine? In the concept of manhood, no. In the concept of just masculine energy, yes. Like violence is masculine. I don't think men should just be all the way to the extreme of violence. Profanity is masculine. Coarse words are masculine words. They're not soft and feminine. And see, this is the thing. What we've done, what human beings have done, is they've changed the meaning of words. They've literally, women are calling themselves feminists whenever they're really masculinists. If they were feminists, they would be behaving more feminine. So they actually have rejected the established word that has its own vibrational frequency, its own definition, and its own meaning. And when you begin to deconstruct the meaning of words, you're in trouble. And our country is very good for deconstructing the meaning of words. I mean, hip-hop by itself, the history of hip-hop is very interesting. Wrote a paper on it in college about broken English, and I went all the way back to Brer Rabbit and slavery. It's very interesting, really, how language evolved in the black community, what they call ebonics and broken English and slang. These actually evolved out of slavery. They came out of sometimes secret languages so that the slaves could talk right in front of the slave masters and communicate without the slave masters knowing. That still is kind of going on with some rap music. But the problem is that back in the day, whenever it was slavery, it was for survival. Today, it's for entertainment purposes. And those people who are controlling these rap artists are not doing things for their best interest. So they're actually perpetuating confusion through the music. The music has young people and old reciting lyrics and concepts and ideas that are detrimental to their identity as men and women and how they interrelate. Now I'm going to jump in a little bit about the neutrality of masculinity and femininity. So straight males are having a hell of a time trying to appeal to straight females, because straight females, their energy right now is over the top masculine. All the movies and films for the last 10-15 years easy has been promoting this concept of an independent, strong superhero type of woman, and all that energy is masculine energy. And for better than 30, 40, 50 years, if you look at the history of feminism that came right on the coattails of the civil rights movement, feminism's goal was to deconstruct the household, to break down marriages. And as an effect, women, now this came kind of out of World War II. You know, women working in factories, they were doing a lot of men's jobs because men were at war. And when the men came back, the women were like, shoot, I can do this job. I should be able to continue doing this job.